dare everybody treat me like it has been after my international triumph. Punish me based on the lies of a two-faced whore. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Because if she had another face, she would use it. That twisted, conniving little... One would think after living well for 40 years, the best revenge, they say, and her sort of fading off into oblivion, I would be past all that. My dears, in life you must always forgive, but never, never, never forget. So now the vaudeville theatre manager Delonde and the formidable playwright Victorien Sardou, they were now eager to have me perform the lead in their new play. However, I did not wish to forget the way that they slighted me so rudely upon my return to Paris. Just like the wayward suitor returning to his lady love, I wanted to be courted. No, I wanted to torture them. And this was to be the beginning of my most successful professional collaboration. Sarah and Sardou would become a byword for theatrical spectaculars. Tosca, Grismonde, Le Sorcier, Cleopatra. But at that time I kept my interest in check, and I invited them to present me the script in my garden, which was more of a jungle of potted floor and vine. Poor Sardou. He was a very instinctive director. He was always huffing and puffing about, he'd perform, and he would gesticulate every role. He tripped on a rose bush. He trounced on a section of my herbaceous border. He shattered this lovely jardiniere of lavender and jasmine as he told me the story of Fedora, a Russian princess who was duped into believing by the secret police that Lori Ivanov, the handsome nihilist rebel, assassinated her husband. She plots with the secret police to ensnare his heart with her amorous charms and deliver him into their hands, only to find out he is innocent. And rather than fulfill her contract with the secret police, she takes poison and dies in the arms of her lover. It was the last throes of the death scene which claimed my poor jardiniere. But what a death scene! When Laurie, he cries for help after Fedora takes her poison. It is useless, Laurie. It is deadly beyond remedy. I have not 5 minutes to live. Leave me alone, I pray you, out of charity. No, Laurie. It is over, and it is better so. You will pardon me, Dad. If I were living, there would always be these phantoms between us to separate us. It is better I should go. Oh, God. What agony. It is burning me. Water. Water. Oh. Oh. I am cold. So cold. Take me in your arms, Laurie. I could wish for yet a little of your love, and then to rest my head upon your heart, the long sleep coming. Laurie? Laurie, where are you, Laurie? Give me your hands and your lips, your adored lips, so that I may live my soul. Sardou and I shared the same unerring instinct for theatre, and I knew this would be a triumph. And I also knew that Deslandes' offer of 1,000 francs a performance for a guaranteed 100 performances was a very fine contract. However, now came my time for revenge. So I smiled like a little coquette, and I said, "Do not tease me. I was so sweet, and I was so charming, and I was completely resolute. When I said the vaudeville makes 7,500 francs a performance, I want 1,500 of that, plus 25% of the net profits. So sadly, as much as I love Monsieur Sardou's new play, I simply cannot accept." Deslandes was pale as a ghost, and decimated by my resolution, but he acquiesced. I would begin rehearsals for Fedora after my first European tour. And when I announced plans of my European tour, I refused any and all bookings in Germany. After what they did to France during the siege of Paris, I would not dirty my hands with their despicable money. So they sent this delegation to beg me. They claimed that they would pay anything that I would name my price. So I turned to them, I smiled deliciously, and I wet my lips with anticipation to make them hush and lean forward to see what number I would contrive for my fee. What would be the price of Sarah Bernhardt's bride? Then I raised myself up regally, and in my heartiest voice I cried, my price is 200 million francs, which was the price of peace Bismarck demanded France pay to Germany for the war of 1870. The delegation turned tail and hastily departed. And good luck, we began the tour in London at the Gaiety, where for the first time the censorship ban on La Dame Camille, it was lifted. It was done in my honor, though not without great trepidation and coaxing by Prince Edward. He explained to Victoria that I played Marguerite with such a delicate sensuality and fragile intensity that she herself eventually even attended the performance. From England we played Middle France and Northern Italy, where King Umberto, he gifted me with this glorious 16th century hand-painted Venetian fan, which would only be surpassed by the priceless Peru of rare cameos Franz Joseph bequeathed to me in the honor of my Phaedra. We played Belgium and Switzerland and Holland, where I was truly treated as royalty. But it was in Austria, with the Archduke Frederick. He put one of his own palaces at my disposal, saying that no hotel was a fit residence for a queen. The torrent was beyond triumphant as we swept into Russia. Odessa was the only blemish. Russians in Odessa are extremely anti-Semitic. But you must understand, in Europe they don't consider Judaism a religion, but a race. I was raised Catholic, and I am only 1/4 Jewish through my maternal grandmother. But I will always be called a Jew. I refuse to be ashamed of anything that I am. And I hate racism in any form. It is cowardly and stupid. This was never expressed more eloquently than in Sardu's Les Sorciers, when Zoraya, a Moorish woman in the 1500s, is brought before the Inquisition for her heathen faith. I dare anything now. At least I will have the joy of crying my loathing at this tribunal of priests. I my hatred. I hate you! Priests who hasten upon a conquered people like jackals after a battle. Of all the suffering of the vanquished, there is not one we have not had. You have made your churches out of our mosques. You've stalled your horses in our schools. You've kennelled your dogs in our courts of justice. You have polluted our ponds. You've broken our canals, burned down our canals. All of our arches have been cut down, but this was not enough. We were still not dead. We suffered destitution, starvation, and brutality of your soldiers. Something more was needed. The more settled cruelty of the monk. So you invented the Inquisition. We were heathens, we were impertinent. You flung us to rot in your dungeons. You could burn us alive, and all in the name of the gospel, whose only message is peace upon earth and goodwill towards men. All in the name of prophet, your God, crucified by the inquisitors of his day, the martyr whom you have turned into a butcher, God of the Christians. They've nailed your hands and your feet so that you could not come to the cry of the wretched, but your lips are free. Cry out to damn these vile judges, that hell is here. Here where living men and women are sacrificed to your glory. Here where they offer for a song the groans of the tormented, and for incense the smell of burning flesh. Cry out that hell is here. Hell with its demons, hell with its pleasures, hell with its damned. Hell is here. I must come to speak of my husband, Jacques Damelin. I can't avoid it any longer. Sometimes there are things in life which are hard to talk about, hard to admit, and hard to resist. Damelin was all of those. Our marriage was truly summed up by the title of the Bernhardt Shaw play, Don Juan in Hell. Because that is what he was, and that is where he took me. At the not so tender age of 38, I fell madly in love with a 26-year-old Greek diplomat and career womanizer named Astrid Damelin. And Jacques, it came later when he became my leading man. Actors, you know, they're always changing their names. The way that things look on a marquee, it can mean everything. But not to avoid the subject any longer. Mara was extremely handsome. He was a man whose reputation as a heartbreaker was exceeded by reality. I met Tamara through my sister Jean, shortly before I departed on my European tour. And I was suspended between one breath and another when those glittering eyes undressed me, with a glance that was both blasé and peaceful. In the sensuous tremor to his upper lip, it made my heart tremble in response. And Jean, she introduced him to me at my studio, where he sat down. He languidly removed a cigarette from a gold and jeweled case and lit it up. Knowing as all that Perry knew I never allowed anyone to smoke in front of me. I just looked at him. I thought, this is the most handsome creature I have ever seen. His reckless romancing of the Parisian upper-class females drove one woman to suicide and two to divorce. So the French government, they decided it was time for Damelin to fish in foreign seas. And he was sent to Russia. And although I had so far refused any offers to perform in Russia, as soon as I heard he had been reassigned there, I changed all my plans to insert a 6-month engagement in the middle of everything, just for the chance to see him again. To give you a measure of his chance, no sooner had he arrived in Russia, he became involved with not one, but two of Prince Rostopin's daughters. Their royal ménage à trois was the scandal of St. Petersburg. And the next time I saw him, he had a lissom young princess, decorating each arm as he crossed the royal ballroom to barely acknowledge me. I was on the arm of Garnier. He was my gallant, on and off stage leading man. It was in fact as if the whole world no longer existed. That is the true meaning of blind passion. My son, my critics, my family, they could say anything, do anything. And I just thought how handsome he was. Damelin, he could ignore me. He could debase me. He could slap me across the face with his infidelities. And I thought how handsome he was. I discarded loyal professional amateurs to work opposite a rank amateur because I thought how handsome he was.